Hey, 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 scrappy people. It's Tracy Reed here today, and I'm coming at you with a layout of Finn in my Wreck-It Wednesday series, and it goes next to this layout of me, which was the very first one that I completed. And if you haven't watched the previous 3 Wreck-It Wednesday videos, they are in this playlist, and you can check them out. The very first one explains what Wreck-It Wednesday is and what I'm going to be doing, which is using the same kit that I've pulled together. So progressively I get more and more scraps to work with rather than like full pages and things like that. So I'm using the same collections, the same kit that I pulled together of a few different stash busting products. And I create 1, 2, 3, 3 9x12 layouts, 1, 2, 3 pocket page 9x12 layouts, and 2 6x12 layouts out of one kit. So this one is going to be this layout of Finn, which is going to coordinate with the one of me next to it. So I've got the one of me pulled to the side there so I can work on them together. And there's a lot of rich colors in the collection that I'm pulling out for this layout of Finn. So I wanted to use this brown paper because the one on the other page that I've got Sunshine on My Mind die cut is red, like a maroon color, but it has the same tones as the brown paper. So I'm going to use the brown paper and also this feather paper that I really wanted to use on the side of this page of Finn. So I'm just covering up the sticky part with washi tape, making sure it sticks together really well. So this needs to be a 9x12. So I got to make sure that I cut down the paper to 9x12 size. And what I ended up doing was cutting more paper from both sides so that it would be even and that Explore wouldn't get cut off. So now I've got to do mental math and make sure that I'm cutting off the right amount. So I keep measuring to make sure that I'm not cutting off too much. There we go. Okay, so now I've got all of my papers trimmed down. I'm going to use this 9x12 over here as a template to make sure that I'm making it the right size and everything is lined up straight. Cute. I like the strips of pattern, the strips of paper down the side there. Normally when I add strips of pattern vertically like that, I like mat my whole 9x12 or both sides, so I like the change of matting just the one side there. Plus it also separates the pattern and that brown far enough away from the other side so that they coordinate better when that brown is just a little bit farther away from that maroon. Like you see the color difference less than if I had put them right next to each other. So I'm going to use this gray stripy paper, and I'm gonna create, I was getting a little bit bored with just straight lines, especially on this layout. It did not work out well. So what I decided to do was cut circles out of this stripy paper. I'm just gonna use this like magnetic thing here that I have sitting on my IKEA carts for like sequins and things. I'm just gonna use it as a template and freehand cut this. I am way too lazy to pull out my silhouette, and I don't have a paper punch that's that big. It looks like it's a 4-inch circle. So I don't have one that's that big, so I'm just going to trace it and cut it. So I traced 2 circles and then realized I probably only need 1 because I can cut them in half. But I do end up using 1.5, so I'm glad I traced 2 to begin with anyway. So now I'm going to cut it in half. I want the stripes to be horizontal, so I made sure to cut them in half the correct way so that they would stay horizontal. Make sure that it is straight up and down. Okay, that's cute. So I like the way that that's coming out. That's better. Adding some curve to my cluster here. I thought maybe I would add it in a little bit diagonally, but I didn't like the way that looks, so it just gives a nice straight line. Trying to use up all these journaling strips I have from the Cocoa Vanilla cut-aparts. So I incorporate that one in there. And this one definitely can use up a lot more of the boy stuff, but I still don't end up using a lot of the boy stuff. I use the stickers that say Fun Times. I really wanted to use this yellow Sunshine Sun. I don't know why it says Sunshine Sun, but I was just more looking at it as a yellow sticker. So I add the yellow heart to the photo, and then I end up not using the Sunshine Sun. So I end up with like this yellow sticker on Finn's photo and no yellow on the rest of it. There is yellow on the right hand side, or the left hand side in that other layout. So I guess, I mean, that's why I was trying to pull the yellow in to begin with, was to draw more of the yellow across the page, but did not work out the way I was thinking it was going to. I finally get to incorporate some of the cute little animals that have words on them on this page. And then this frame was perfect, and so even though I already stuck everything down, I'm just going to shove it right in here. I'm going to pull that journaling spot up. And I'm going to frame Finn. I really like the way that that added to the cluster. That's 2 frames that I used in this series. And since I never use frames, I was very impressed with myself. That bunny says The Wonder Years, and that becomes the title for my page. Tried to incorporate a few more, but I felt like too many. There was just too many words if I used too many of the animals, so I'm going to add in a few of these silver leaves. They're like leaf prints almost. I need to put this journaling spot back on here, so I decided to put it down here in this corner, and I'm trying to frame it with another animal, but I just can't seem to make it all work. It was like, it almost felt like there were too many dark blotches as well. If the animals had been different colors or something like that, then I think I could have made it work better. But like every time I add an animal, it adds like this black blotch to the layout that is already dark. So that's kind of what I was struggling with, as much as I wanted to use them. Pull things up, put things down, put things down, pull things up. That's how I roll. So the problem I was having here that I was trying to tackle was that it was covering up all of that circle that I needed to ground my layout and to add some fun pattern. So I had to move the circle down. Then I could add that bear up there again. And now I'm feeling like, okay, there needs to be something at the top here. So I add this, like, it's like a circular constellation. And I was like, no, I need more white. So I cut out another one and cut it in half and add another circle to the top of this page. And now it starts coming together for me, and I like it a lot better. Made sure that those stripes stayed horizontal to match the other ones. I'm going to use this constellation to cut it in half so I can use it in 2 places. There we go. So now I've got some more circles going on. I like it, I like it. Try to get up that yellow sticker since there was no yellow. And I decided, okay, well there's a little bit of yellow in the feathers, so that'll work. I'll just leave it there. I'll add in some stars around it to make it look like it's just not randomly sitting there. Look through a few of these die cuts again, Just gonna stick down the stars. Just couldn't find anything else I wanted to add. I like the photo corners and the way that it frames the whole thing, so I add one to the top photo and the bottom photo, and I make sure they're like a little off center, a little bit skewed, so they're not perfect. I'm going to add in some journaling, and of course some word strips. I decided to go with black on these, and I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you, and if you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. My handle is @TracyMReed. I'd love to be besties over there as well, and I will see you next time. All right, thank you.